I had to open the windows, I thought, putting down a bunch of yellowing sheets of paper that were part of what was supposed to have been Marek's diary. As I continued to rummage through his papers, I began to sense how similar we were in many ways. But I didn't need to imagine myself looking into a mirror to discover others crowding around my face. I have lived each day for the past 6 years with another me by my side. His face, his body, his eyes, they're the same as mine. And yet, we couldn't be more different from one another. He hates strong smells, and that is why I had to open the windows just then. At least, I can be considerate. I suppose all old people have a funny smell. Not good or bad, but funny. It must linger a while after they are gone. I found it gathering around Martin as he grew older. My father must have been about 60 or so, with already a whiff of this, when I first met Marek. Until then, I don't think I really knew anyone old except for Martin Fisher, my father. He really didn't look that old, except that sometimes he tried to do things which made him look silly and old, like trying to do cartwheels on the beach in the summer to impress someone or the other visiting the seacoast like us. I felt quite embarrassed. Marek gave off the same kind of smell, only much stronger. Now Marek is gone. There was an added touch of mothballs or dry cleaning detergent or whatever it is that gives old clothes their distinctive smell. When I pointed this out to him one day, Marek said, "How remarkable." He said he knew of a place where he had sniffed the same smell in bundles of clothes stacked one on top of the other. And then suddenly he couldn't smell it any more, even though the bundles kept piling up. Oh, he said there was a smell all right, but it wasn't from the clothes, even though they often bundled up burnt flesh and dried blood with the clothes. Which seemed a silly thing to do because it was easier to wash one piece of clothing than an entire bundle. But no, this other smell was definitely not from the clothes. Marek must have been as sensitive to smell as one of me, until he lost the power or simply gave up. Like Marek, I too must be lying if I keep insisting there are two of me. But it is true. One of us went to prison for a crime in which he had no part, absolutely none. But how can you prove one of you is innocent, while the other one of you might be slightly guilty? Marek never faced the problem. For him and the 1,000 and more images like him that he claims he saw all the time, there was no question of guilt or innocence. They were victims of the plague, one and all. I wonder if plagues make any distinction between one victim and the other, between the innocent and the guilty. The other one of me loves fragrances. Maybe not old folks' smells, but sweet smells that make you feel the wind is rushing through your hair, that electrify your body with desire. I am glad some of the electricity had faded before I went to prison, or I might have ended my life during the first few terrible weeks. This was the guilty I, touched with doubt and shame, forever seeking refuge behind passing clouds of love. To be starved of love without being starved of the desire for love is something I could never bear. That would be reason enough for me to end my life. Tetsuo mocked me for having said that. He thought music was sufficient reason to wish for eternal life, and he, after all, was the keeper of music, a sacred trust. There was little love to be had, it seems, for the other I. I desperately sought my father's love. To find it, I plunged myself into books, hoping to endear myself to him through them. Martin Fisher was a lover of books and a storehouse of wondrous tales.